It's rooted in an event that happened in the 1150s in Gubbio, Italy, which is a small town, a small village in Italy. The bishop was Ubaldo Baldacini, and in the 1150s, Frederick Barbarossa, was planning an attack on Gubbio. So Ubaldo used peace and words and reason to convince him not to attack Gubbio, to convince him to spare his town. And as a result, people were so excited to see that he was still alive that they ran up to him and they put him on a chair and they lifted it on pedestals and they ran through the streets of Gubbio to show everyone that he was still alive. To celebrate that in subsequent years, it became this feast day to celebrate St. Ubaldo. They added two other saints, St. George and St. Anthony, for the different classes because St. Ubaldo represented the upper class and then St. George and St. Anthony to represent the middle and lower classes. And every year in Gubbio on May 15th, they have statues of the saints that weigh like hundreds of pounds, and these guys lift them on their shoulders and they sprint through the streets. When Igubin immigrants came to America, most of them settled in Jessup because it reminded them of their home. So they brought the holiday with them. So we have it in Jessup as well. It's the only two places in the world to have the holiday. My family, the Angelonis, are from Gubbio. We were always middle class. My family was always middle class, so we were always runners for St. George. So we always wear blue. We wear the blue shirts. We run under the St. George statue. My parents, especially my father, because he grew up here in Jessup and he grew up doing the celebration as well, he really made a point of teaching me and my brothers, since we were really little, the history of the day and the spiritual component of the day, and to always treat everything with respect, because when you have that on your shoulder, you're carrying 1,000 years of tradition and you're carrying the livelihood of that saint on your shoulder. That's what you're representing. I would just follow along with the race. I didn't get under because it takes a while. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of feet stomping, people screaming. There's all kinds of stuff going on the street and on the sidewalks. It's super exciting. It's super accelerating. But when you have the thought of, oh, I'm going to get under this 500-pound statue and run, that takes a couple years to get used to. And then in 2019 was the first time I was kind of put under the saint. I think it was probably my dad, and he's like, all right, you're going to get under this next one. Every leg of the race, there are 2 or 3 switches where the saint runs by, and you have to get under while it's running. You're supposed to get under shoulder first and wrap your arm around, and then grab behind the guy who you're switching out for, and you have to like grab his neck kind of and shove him out of the way. I was in the position to swap in, the crowd cheering, all the people around you, and the music playing in the distance. There's a smell of cigars and wine all throughout the day. All of that kind of becomes white noise. It all kind of becomes secondary. So you're really kind of in your bubble. You're in the center of what everyone's watching, but you're also kind of alone in your thoughts. And 1,000 thoughts go through your mind, especially my first time doing it. Of like, okay, like how many other Angelonis have done this before? How many other people wore this color and did what I'm about to do? I feel afraid. I feel like I'm gonna mess it up. I feel anxious. I'm scared. All these things, but you have to turn that around. If you saw the Saints go up, the leg was gonna start soon. It all becomes a blur. They're running by. I couldn't get under quick enough my first time. I didn't get my shoulder under. I just kind of got my hand under like that. We were going so fast and I couldn't really I couldn't really focus on it, and I couldn't really have the momentum to shove the guy out. Right when the switch happened, the St. George statue tilted. It tilted on my side, and that was all I was able to see. And so I didn't get under for the rest of the day. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Swapping out, though, is a great feeling. Swapping out is one of the best feelings. When I was swapped out, it was so clean. The guy got in behind me, grabbed me, shoved me out, and I landed, knocked over, and rolled on the grass. And getting grass stains on the white pants that you wear is awesome. You smell it all throughout the day. The whole crowd is understanding of it, and everyone on the street is understanding of it, and they'll be there to pick you up. As soon as I landed on my back, there was a guy who I had no idea who he was with his hand out like that to pick me up. And picked me up, and we went back to see the rest of the leg. And that's just something, that's a feeling that I'll never forget, and it's a feeling that you get every single time you do it. I've gotten under probably 5 or 6 times in my life, and it's the exact same feeling, the same amount of fear, the same amount of pressure, and you have to calm yourself down in the same way. That first experience kind of taught me that, and every time feels like the first time. It's that special.